Elon Musk is a figure who elicits strong, often contradictory reactions, ranging from awe and admiration to skepticism and even fear. To some, he embodies a modern-day genius, akin to Edison or Einstein, actively shaping the future. To others, he appears as a reckless and erratic billionaire, driven by an insatiable ambition. Walter Isaacson's biography, Elon Musk, delves beyond the myths and perceived madness, offering a portrait of the man himself. Based on 2 years of shadowing Musk's decisions, conversing with his inner circle, and observing pivotal moments, Isaacson posits that understanding Musk is crucial for comprehending the world's trajectory, as he is actively bending history's arc. Whether through electric vehicles, reusable rockets, solar energy, or brain-machine interfaces, Musk consistently positions himself at the nexus of civilization's most significant turning points. Yet, he remains a paradox. Profoundly insecure, yet wildly confident, striving to save humanity, while often struggling to connect with individuals, a ruthless boss yet a devoted father, demanding loyalty but frequently turning on those closest to him. His story is one defined by extremes, extraordinary vision coupled with relentless chaos. Born on June 28, 1971, in Pretoria, South Africa, Elon Musk exhibited an early detachment from his peers and the world around him. Possessing a photographic memory, a fervent love for science fiction, and an unyielding curiosity, he was intellectually formidable but socially awkward. His childhood was marked by emotional trauma and isolation. His parents, May and Errol, divorced early in his life, while his mother, a dietitian and model, was loving but often absent due to work. His father, Elon Musk, an engineer, possessed both a sharp intellect and a dark temper, later described by Elon as evil and brilliant. This fraught relationship with his father would profoundly impact Musk for decades. His school years were particularly harsh. Small and shy, he was frequently bullied, once so severely that he required hospitalization. Books became his sanctuary, where he devoured science fiction, encyclopedias, and computer manuals. By the age of 12, he had taught himself programming and sold his first video game. Isaacson emphasizes how these early experiences forged his identity. Pain fostered emotional distance, while reading cultivated intellectual invincibility, leading to what friends would term a blunt force will, an unyielding drive to overcome discomfort, fear, and even people in pursuit of his vision. At 17, Musk left South Africa, refusing military service under the apartheid regime, seeing North America, particularly the United States, as the promised land of innovation and freedom, a decisive break from both his country and the emotional weight of his past. After his departure from South Africa and studying at Queen's University in Canada before transferring to the University of Pennsylvania, Elon Musk seemed to be on a traditional academic path. However, he harbored no interest in merely completing an Ivy League education to secure a conventional job. His ambition was to build the future, and to do it rapidly. In 1995, just 2 days into a PhD program at Stanford, he dropped out. The internet was on the cusp of explosion, and Musk was determined to seize the opportunity. Alongside his brother Kimball, he co-founded Zip2 from a small office in Palo Alto. Their objective was to develop a searchable online business directory integrated with maps, essentially a smarter digital rendition of the Yellow Pages. At a time when few businesses were online and even fewer grasped the internet's transformative potential for commerce, Musk was among the prescient few. He dedicated himself relentlessly to coding, often sleeping on beanbags in the office and subsisting on takeout. His commitment to technical quality was unwavering, frequently leading him to rewrite engineers' code late into the night. As Zip2 began to gain traction, Musk's brilliant but often abrasive demeanor led to clashes with investors and board members, who eventually replaced him as CEO with a more seasoned executive to guide the company's growth. Musk resented this decision, believing no one could match his intensity and vision. Nevertheless, when Compaq acquired Zip2 in 1999 for $37 million, Musk, then only 27, walked away with $22 million. While this would signify the pinnacle of a career for most, for Musk, it was merely the beginning. Armed with his newfound wealth, Musk immediately plunged into another cutting-edge frontier, banking. He held a long-standing conviction that traditional financial systems were antiquated, inefficient, and ripe for disruption. In 1999, he established X.com, an online financial services company with the audacious aim of revolutionizing how people managed and transferred money. X.com was a bold venture. Musk envisioned a single platform encompassing checking, savings, insurance, and investments, entirely bypassing traditional banking infrastructure. He was fixated on user experience, demanding that every process be frictionless. However, he also possessed a risky tendency to overpromise, often informing the press and investors that features were fully functional when they were still deep in development. In 2000, X.com merged with Confinity, a rival startup co-founded by Peter Thiel and Max Levchin, which had developed PayPal, a product enabling peer-to-peer payments via email that proved incredibly popular on eBay. The merger was fraught with tension. Musk insisted on retaining the X.com brand, while others advocated for PayPal's growing recognition. Musk was ultimately overruled, and the company adopted the PayPal name. Although Musk became CEO of the combined entity, he struggled to navigate its internal cultural conflicts. His management style, intense, impulsive, and inflexible, alienated many key executives. While he was away on a trip to Australia, the board voted to remove him, appointing Thiel as CEO. This marked a second profound humiliation for Musk, being ousted from a company he founded. Yet, when eBay acquired PayPal in 2002 for $1.5 billion, Musk secured $180 million. While most would consider retirement at this point, Musk chose to redouble his efforts. Isaacson notes that these early executive failures did not humble Musk. Rather, they solidified his resolve, rendering him more controlling, more aggressive, and more determined than ever to maintain absolute control over his vision. These early experiences with Zip2 and X.com reveal the fundamental blueprint of Elon Musk's entrepreneurial approach. He was already consumed by notions of speed, vertical integration, and complete control, harboring a deep aversion to bureaucracy and inefficiency. He relentlessly demanded technical excellence and personal sacrifice from himself and his teams. He perceived the world as fundamentally flawed and believed himself uniquely positioned to mend it. These ventures were not merely companies to Musk, they were vital stepping stones in his overarching mission to reshape civilization itself. By 2002, he had amassed the necessary capital, cultivated unwavering confidence, and harnessed an extraordinary drive. He was poised to embark on projects of a far grander scale. Following the PayPal sale, Elon Musk did not indulge in traditional luxuries like yachts or private islands. Instead, he invested in a profound dream, one born from science fiction and an existential conviction that humanity's survival depended on becoming a multi-planetary species. In 2002, he founded Space Exploration Technologies Corp., or SpaceX, with the audacious objective of colonizing Mars. Musk had grown deeply disillusioned by what he perceived as stagnation within NASA, unable to reconcile humanity's moon landing in 1969 with a lack of progress towards Mars decades later. He resolved to ignite that progress himself. He assembled a small team of brilliant engineers and leased a warehouse in El Segundo, California. There was no established playbook, only an overwhelming ambition. SpaceX's inaugural project was the Falcon 1, a small rocket designed entirely from the ground up. Musk poured $100 million of his personal fortune into the endeavor, driven by sheer force of will and a near-religious faith in engineering. However, building rockets is an exceptionally arduous undertaking. Between 2006 and 2008, SpaceX launched 3 Falcon 1 missions, all of which ended in failure. These setbacks were financially devastating, pushing Musk to the precipice of financial ruin. He continued to inject his own capital into SpaceX, even resorting to borrowing to keep the company afloat. Yet, his perseverance stemmed not merely from pride, but from a profound sense of purpose. He believed advancing humanity into space was a moral imperative. Then, in September 2008, the 4th Falcon 1 launch achieved success, a remarkable triumph against overwhelming odds. Shortly thereafter, NASA awarded SpaceX a pivotal $1.6 billion contract to deliver cargo to the International Space Station, a deal that not only saved the company but also unequivocally validated Musk's ambitious vision. Isaacson meticulously details Musk's management style at SpaceX, characterizing it as relentless, sometimes even abusive. He was known to summarily fire employees, demand 100-hour work weeks, and personally scrutinize even minute engineering decisions. Nevertheless, those who remained became integral to something extraordinary. They were not merely constructing rockets. They were, in their view, fundamentally reshaping the destiny of humanity. While grappling with the formidable challenge of getting SpaceX off the ground, Musk simultaneously ventured into another radically different domain: electric vehicles. In 2004, he invested in Tesla Motors, a fledgling startup founded by Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning, which was developing a sleek electric sports car called the Tesla Roadster, innovatively powered by laptop batteries. Musk joined the company as chairman and swiftly became deeply enmeshed, providing crucial funding and dictating its strategic direction. However, tensions escalated as Musk increasingly sought greater control, accelerated innovation, and faster progress. He frequently clashed with the founders, openly questioning their technical competence, and ultimately orchestrated their departure. By 2008, Musk had assumed the roles of CEO and product architect. For Musk, Tesla transcended being merely a car company. It represented a revolution. His overarching aim was to accelerate the global transition to sustainable energy, a goal for which he was prepared to risk everything. He demanded vertical integration, asserting control over every facet of production, and insisted on futuristic designs coupled with uncompromising timelines. Yet, Tesla's nascent years were plagued by calamities. The Roadster suffered from persistent delays, massive cost overruns, and pervasive quality issues. By 2008, Tesla teetered on the brink of bankruptcy, precisely at the same time SpaceX was also struggling for survival. Musk had depleted his personal funds, borrowing from friends and splitting his time between the two companies, often commuting between Los Angeles and Silicon Valley multiple times a day. At his absolute nadir, Musk found himself sleeping on friends' couches, desperately soliciting funds from investors, and confronting personal collapse. However, in late 2008, a dramatic turnaround occurred. Tesla secured emergency funding, and critically, the fourth Falcon 1 launch finally succeeded. Within a matter of weeks, both companies were rescued from imminent failure. These harrowing years profoundly shaped Musk, forging him into an even more resilient individual. He had risked everything and miraculously survived. By the close of 2008, Elon Musk had evolved far beyond a mere dot-com millionaire. He emerged as a visionary survivor, at the helm of two of the most daring and ambitious companies on Earth. Isaacson makes it unequivocally clear that this crucible of a period did not just mold Musk's companies, it indelibly hardened his psyche. Musk absorbed a critical lesson, that crisis inherently breeds clarity, and that those incapable of enduring intense pain were, in his view, not worth retaining. This often brutal conviction would subsequently dictate how he built and expanded his burgeoning empire. By 2010, Tesla had transcended its precarious startup phase, successfully going public and raising $226 million, cementing Elon Musk's status as a global tech celebrity. However, the IPO did not eliminate all challenges. In fact, it intensified the pressure on Tesla to deliver tangible vehicles, genuine innovation, and crucially, profits. The subsequent major milestone was the Model S, an electric luxury sedan unlike anything previously seen, seamlessly blending speed, style, and sustainability. Musk pushed his team to their absolute limits, personally approving or redesigning every minute detail, down to the door handles. At times, his demands seemed irrational, insisting on features like vertical touchscreens, panoramic roofs, and unprecedented acceleration. The culmination arrived in 2012 with the Model S launch, which garnered critical acclaim, including Motor Trend's Car of the Year award. Tesla was no longer just a car company. It had become a burgeoning movement. Unsatisfied, Musk unveiled an ambitious long-term master plan. First, make electric cars desirable, Model S, then affordable, Model 3, and finally, integrate them into a comprehensive sustainable energy ecosystem. To this end, he acquired SolarCity, a company managed by his cousins, aiming to create synergy between solar energy generation and electric vehicles. Concurrently, Tesla began developing its autopilot feature, a cornerstone of Musk's vision for a self-driving car. He aggressively pursued autonomous capabilities, pushing software updates directly to customers and making bold claims about achieving full autonomy, often dismissing engineers' cautions that the technology wasn't yet fully mature. Inside the company, working for Musk was notoriously brutal. He sent late-night emails, demanded weekend work, and frequently fired employees on the spot. One engineer famously remarked that Elon creates a reality distortion field. He makes you believe anything is possible, then he makes you do it. Yet this intense drive yielded remarkable results. The Model X SUV followed, succeeded by the Model 3, Tesla's first mass-market vehicle. Despite enduring what Musk famously dubbed production hell, marked by delays and fierce attacks from short sellers, he never relented, even famously sleeping in the Fremont factory during the most intense period of the Model 3 ramp-up. Isaacson reveals that Musk's greatest fear was not competition, but stagnation. He thrived in a perpetual state of controlled crisis, a chaotic environment that propelled Tesla forward, transforming it from an eccentric startup into the world's most valuable car company. While Tesla revolutionized ground transport, SpaceX was concurrently redefining space flight. Following the success of the Falcon 1, Musk's team shifted its focus to the Falcon 9, a larger, reusable rocket designed to carry heavier payloads. The objective was audacious, yet clear: to replace costly, single-use rockets with a system capable of vertical landing, refueling, and relaunching. It seemed to border on science fiction. Musk also introduced the Dragon capsule, designed initially for cargo and eventually for human transport to the International Space Station, ISS. Critics scoffed, asserting that private companies could not manage such high-stakes missions. But Musk disregarded them. In 2012, SpaceX made history when the Dragon capsule successfully docked with the ISS, marking the first time a private entity had achieved such a monumental feat. NASA took notice, awarding more contracts. The next challenge involved the landing trials, where Musk demanded that rockets not only launch but also return and land vertically on designated drone ships or landing pads. Initial attempts resulted in spectacular explosions, inviting widespread mockery. However, in 2015, SpaceX achieved a successful landing of a Falcon 9 booster. The world watched in astonishment. Reusable rockets were no longer a distant dream, but a tangible reality. Musk had made the unimaginable happen. Isaacson characterizes the culture at SpaceX as even more intense than at Tesla. Engineers often slept under their desks, and timelines were relentlessly brutal. Musk exercised direct, unvarnished control, bypassing hierarchies, cold-calling engineers, and overriding managers. Yet, he also inspired fierce loyalty, as his employees genuinely believed they were participating in a truly historic endeavor, which indeed they were. SpaceX's remarkable success culminated in 2020 with the Crew Dragon mission, which launched NASA astronauts to the ISS from U.S. soil, a feat not achieved since the space shuttle era. With this, Musk had accomplished the unthinkable, challenging and ultimately surpassing established giants like Boeing, NASA, and Russia in the space domain. By 2020, Elon Musk was no longer simply a daring entrepreneur. He had become the principal architect of two of the 21st century's most groundbreaking companies. Tesla had fundamentally redefined the automotive industry, while SpaceX had single-handedly resurrected American capabilities in spaceflight. Yet, Musk was far from finished. He was already directing his formidable energies toward new frontiers: neural interfaces, artificial intelligence, underground transit systems, and beyond. Throughout these expansions, his leadership style remained consistently intense, unforgiving, and profoundly visionary, perpetually driven by a singular, overarching question: how far are you willing to go to shape the future? By the early 2020s, Musk, with the world seemingly at his feet, cast his gaze towards the stars, the human mind, and the infrastructure beneath our cities. Having already revolutionized electric vehicles and space travel, he turned his attention to what he perceived as the two most urgent frontiers: human cognition and urban mobility. In 2016, he launched Neuralink, a company dedicated to developing brain-computer interfaces. The concept was revolutionary, implanting a device directly into the brain to restore motor functions, treat neurological disorders, and ultimately enhance human cognitive abilities. Musk viewed this endeavor as essential not just for medical advancement but for humanity's very survival. As artificial intelligence continued its rapid ascent, Musk feared humans would be rendered obsolete, and Neuralink, he believed, offered a path to merge with AI. The project commenced with the recruitment of elite neuroscientists and engineers. Musk immersed himself in understanding the intricate details of brain structure, frequently attending highly technical meetings personally. As was his custom, he demanded impossible timelines, pushing for live animal trials within months and human implants shortly thereafter. Despite ethical debates and internal setbacks, the company achieved significant progress. By 2020, Neuralink famously demonstrated a monkey controlling a video game with its mind, a breakthrough met with both exhilaration and apprehension. Musk framed Neuralink not merely as a commercial enterprise, but as a moral crusade, an effort to preserve the relevance of the human mind in an increasingly AI-dominated world. Concurrently, Musk also began tunneling under cities, quite literally. Driven by his exasperation with Los Angeles traffic, he founded the Boring Company, initially a side project that rapidly evolved into a serious endeavor. Its mission? To alleviate urban congestion through an intricate network of underground tunnels capable of transporting passengers in high-speed pods or Teslas. The Boring Company initiated its work with small test tunnels in Hawthorne before expanding to Las Vegas, where it successfully constructed a functioning underground loop system. Critics dismissed it as a vanity project or a distraction from his other ventures. However, Musk perceived it as an integral component of his interconnected ecosystem, linking sustainable cars, solar energy, and high-speed transport within a novel form of infrastructure. Isaacson portrays this era as one of explosive, interconnected ambition. Musk did not compartmentalize his ventures. Instead, he cross-pollinated ideas. Neuralink, Tesla, SpaceX, and the Boring Company shared not only Musk's intense attention, but frequently also staff, tools, and even real estate. His burgeoning empire was increasingly becoming a single, interconnected machine, powered by one singular mind. In 2022, Musk executed a move that stunned the world. He acquired Twitter. The journey began with a series of tweets wherein Musk criticized the platform's content moderation policies, ardently advocated for free speech, and even hinted at establishing an alternative social media platform. Then, in April, he made a formal offer of $44 billion to take Twitter private. Many initially dismissed it as a jest, but it was anything but. Upon the deal's finalization, Musk famously walked into Twitter HQ carrying a sink, tweeting, "Let that sink in." This marked the commencement of real disruption. He summarily fired the CEO and most of the top executives, dissolved the board, and oversaw the dismissal of thousands of employees. Entire departments, including communications, ethics, and trust and safety, were gutted overnight. Musk personally assumed control over product decisions. He drastically altered the platform's verification system, reinstated previously suspended accounts, and rebranded the platform to X, a long-standing personal obsession of his. His ultimate ambition was to transform Twitter into an everything app, a comprehensive platform encompassing social media, payments, commerce, and more. The reaction was explosive. Supporters lauded his unwavering commitment to free speech, while critics contended that he was enabling harassment and chaos. Advertisers began to flee, and users became deeply divided. X rapidly devolved into a volatile battleground for cultural, political, and global information flows. Isaacson chronicles the X takeover as both emblematic of Musk's style and profoundly revealing. Musk genuinely believed he was saving civilization from censorship and enforced conformity. However, his erratic behavior, tweeting conspiracy theories, openly attacking critics, and making impulsive, sweeping changes, raised serious questions about his judgment. He remained impervious to such concerns. For Musk, the mission transcended brand image or revenue. He viewed X as the indispensable public square, the very nerve center of humanity's digital future. He was prepared to fight to control it, even if it meant incinerating billions of dollars in the process.